Welcome to the face-off between European middleweight champion Denny and Hamzah Sheeraz, the #1 contender for the WBC middleweight title. This fight will take place on the Anthony Joshua-Daniel Dubois undercard at Wembley Stadium on the 21st of September. Watch it on TNT Sports box office.
It's huge. It's what you dream of when you're a kid.
I'm confident, man. Any fight I'll go into full of confidence.
If I feel good, I'll fight him close. If I feel like I just want to cruise, I'll cruise.
It's that natural, massive thing. You tell your grandkids about it.
I know what I'm capable of. This is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to go about it.
Taylor, I'm going to come to you first. Did you ever expect to be on this big stage, massive undercard, massive event? It's came around pretty quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, I never expected it, to be fair. Even from the cash fight, I was just looking at a big fight next, but so quick. I got the call and I was all in, man, all in. How can you fight in Hamzah Sheeraz, Wembley Stadium, AJ Dubois undercard? Sign me in, man, I'm all up for it.
And against Felix Cash, you were an underdog in the fight, as you are in this fight. But you went and done the business. Obviously, it ended in a cut, but you were ahead in the scorecards. What did you think about your own performance up until the stoppage?
I thought it was a great performance, to be fair. What we expected, though. Maybe it just happened a bit earlier than we expected. We thought we'd get to him and he'd unravel. He had 18 months out of the ring. Do you know what I mean? I'm fighting a different animal now. But yeah, we expected that. I know people put me as the underdog, but as long as me and my team believe in that, myself, and it's the same going into this fight, we'll be the underdog. I've been the underdog a lot of fights, but we keep winning, man.
And were you impressed in his last performance against Felix Cash?
Yeah, to be fair, I was. But I said it before that he'd win. I say coming, like he just said, coming from, what was it, 2 years out of the ring Felix Cash had to someone who's been consistent and been in the big fights. It was all against him, to be fair. He weren't going to do what he expected to do anyway, and yeah, but ultimately a great performance.
Going back to your last performance against Ammo Williams, another fight that was kind of evenly matched up depending on who you spoke to. Some people thought he was going to win the fight, a lot of people thought you were going to win the fight. What did you think about your own performance?
It was a good performance. I wouldn't say it was my best performance. Best to date, yeah, but I know what I'm capable of, and I know that was just with how the camp went compared to previous camps and whatnot. It wasn't the best, to say the least. And to get a performance like that with a camp that was 50–60% of what I'm usually used to, kind of give me a new sense of confidence to say that once I get back to LA and back to my normal routine, I'll be a different man come 21st September. And
you're mandatory for the WBC title.
Yep.
Was there a conversation about maybe just waiting around until that shot became available, or is it important for you to be fighting guys like Taylor?
Listen, on a card like this, I think it's foolish to say no, and especially being a Riyadh season ambassador and fighting on Riyadh season in the UK, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, and every opportunity I get at this stage of my career, regardless of world titles or whatever fight is now, we got the European title, I have to cherish it, train to the best of my ability, and just make it happen and keep racking up those wins.
Hamzah put in an incredible performance in his last outing against Ammo Williams. What did you think of the performance yourself?
It was a great performance, man. World-class performance. I'd probably say a 60-40 to Hamzah, but you know, 50-50. You couldn't really. It was a great fight to watch. Everyone was excited to watch it. You know, I'm really with any confidence from the outside. I'm sure his team at the time, but from the outer circle, you'd think, wow, what a fight that is. I can't wait to watch that. He did a job on him, didn't he? Did a job on him, and I think the first couple of rounds probably a bit close. From then, he systematically beat him up, broke him down, and got him out there.
Yeah, I was one of the people who fancied Hamzah pretty strongly in the fight, if I'm being honest. I didn't think it was going to be as dominant as it was. We surprised with how one-sided the fight actually turned out to be.
Yeah, definitely. You got to give credit to Ammo because he's a tough guy, man. He took some big shots where a lot of people would have got knocked out from them from early, but he stayed calm. He kept picking him off, and then when the time was right, he got him out there. So full credit to him.
And this whole event is huge. Another massive event, part of Riyadh's season, but doing it in Wembley Stadium.
Yep.
How does that make you feel, to be boxing at Wembley Stadium in front of massive audiences in the arena and globally?
It's massive, it's huge, it's huge. It's what you dream of when you're a kid. I look at myself as an overachiever. I said it before and I say it again, and getting to the point where I am now, it's all about cherishing it and holding on to it as well and making it last, especially it being on a Anthony Joshua Bill as well, an undercard of him, someone who, outside of the ring, I've tried to model myself around in the terms of how he is, how he talks, how he comes across. So it's just a massive honour, to say the least.
And Taylor, the same question to you. I imagine, like, looking at your career and your record and some of the arenas and places you fought, was Wembley ever a thought, really?
No chance. Absolutely no chance. Even as a kid, I was just into football, to be fair. I wasn't even into boxing until I got to like 16 or something. So the time I dreamed about Wembley is I want to be like the next Alan Shearer or something, do you know what I mean? And here I am fighting there, so it's great. You have to pinch yourself moment, man. But at the same time, reel yourself back in and focus on the task ahead of you.
I never boxed at anywhere close to the size of Wembley. There's got to be a real sense of pride in doing that.
Yeah, I got 4 kids, man. I was telling my son about it, and he's like, "What do you mean, Dad? You can't fight there. It's a football stadium." And I was telling him, but you know, you're saying, even when we were older, we were 60, 70, it's that much of a massive thing. You tell your grandkids about it, and I don't think I'll be telling the story unless I get the win. So that's the most important thing.
Do you think, people may describe this fight as a banana skin? Do you think it's probably a fight that Hamzah Sheeraz maybe shouldn't have taken?
100%. Obviously, I'm going to think that, do you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm confident, man. I'm confident, not because I'm fighting Hamzah, but I'm just confident any fight I go into, full of confidence. I've been winning the last how many fights, convincingly as well. I'm European champion. I'll just beat a guy who was saying there's going to go on to do this and to do that, and it was going to be world title on it. And I've beat that guy. I think he's a world-class opponent, but so am I.
And you've dreams and ambitions of your own to get to that very top stage and be fighting for world titles one day?
Yeah, of course. I just take one fight at a time, and that's what I've done my whole career, and it's got me to this stage. And I'm going to continue doing that, and it's Hamzah next. So beat Hamzah, and then we'll go from there, but his focus is fully on him.
I'm going to ask you both this question. What strengths do you see in Taylor, and what weaknesses as well? Is there anything that you might be able to exploit?
There's a lot of strengths. There's a lot of strengths. I think the biggest one for him coming into this fight is the confidence, is the fact that in his last however many fights he's been the underdog, and it's nothing new, because most fighters in this stage, they get built up, then they come to a fight like this where they're not expected to win, and it's all too much for them. But it's normal to him. It's normal to him, and he's been, like I said, defying the odds. So I think that's his biggest strengths. And in terms of weaknesses, I'll leave that all down to Ricky and the team. Leave it down to them. Let them crack on with the video analysis and whatever it is they do. And once I get myself back in the Tengu's gym next week in LA, we'll crack on with things there.
Same question to you, Taylor.
Obviously, you got to look at his height, his power. They're not on the same levels, but I fought Brad Ray before, and they was talking about his height, his power, and I've come through that, so that gives me the confidence as well. Them sort of attributes, but I think he's got a lot more to his game than that. But I think you catch him on the end of the shots, them tall guys, then they've probably got more power than the shorter, stockier guys. But it'll be fun. It'll be a fun fight. I'm keen. I'm game, and he's full of confidence. I'm full of confidence. It can only be a good fight. We've got respect for each other now. We'll go in the ring. The respect to go out the window, and we'll have it out.
So we're close to wrapping up here, lads. But how do you think the fight will go, Hamzah?
It sounds a bit silly and it sounds a bit big-headed, but I'm not talking from a big-headed point of view. But however I wake up in the morning to fight, if I feel good, if I feel energetic, then I'll fight him close, fight him on the inside. If I feel like I just want to cruise, I'll cruise. It all depends really, and depends what the game plan is as well. And if none of that is the case, then it's all about adapting in the fight. That's what makes normal fighters elite fighters, being able to adapt in certain situations and scenarios. So yeah, it all depends how I feel on fight morning.
So can you do that, like if Ricky Funes has a game plan set aside for you, depending on how you feel?
Yeah.
If he wants you to box, maybe, but you feel like I want to have a fight.
If I wake up that morning, we sit down with Ricky. I've done it for the past 4 fights. I said, listen, this is how I'm feeling today, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to go about it. And he's as long as it's not too completely off the game plan, he's fine with it, because he knows what I can do. Can box long, box short, do whatever you want. So yeah, it sounds a little bit silly, but that's how we work.
And Taylor, how do you see this fight plan out?
With a title, Denny win. If you look at my last few fights, like with Cash, I just put it on him. With Signani, I was more on the back foot sort of thing. Obviously he's taller, but I think you go for a Brad Ray sort of fight. I was out jabbing him. Sometimes I was out working him on the inside. You've got to do whatever you got to do to get the win. I'm confident of getting the win, any means necessary.
Whatever way necessary. Do you think, can you win by knockout?
Yeah, definitely, I think so. You watch the Felix Cash fight and you look at the records, he was the big puncher. I couldn't punch. But then you actually watch it, throw away the records. I was a bigger, stronger guy and then I was hurting him regular. So of course I think anyone can get knocked out.
It's clear there's a lot of respect here, boys, between you, and it's nice to see. I imagine I know the answer to this question, but do we get a handshake here?
Yeah,
absolutely.
of course, man.
All the best, lads, and may the best man win.
That's all. Thank you.